It's Thursday, and you know what that means? It's the day after New Comic Book Day, and today we're talking comics right here on Nerdacy. Let's get into it. Hey heroes, welcome to a brand new episode of Nerdacy. I'm your host, Matt, and today it's the day after Wednesday. It is Thursday. We're going to be talking about comic book pickups, more specifically the comic books that I picked up this week at the store. We're going to just run through them. It's not really going to be a review. It's just going to be me showing off the books I picked up this week and giving my thoughts on them a little bit. And just showing off what covers I got and things like that. If you want to be part of this conversation, make sure to let me know what you picked up this week in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell so have notifications turned on so you know when we drop a new video every single day. Working on it, hopefully. It's taken me a little bit of time to get into the swing of things, trying to do daily content. Life happens, but that's neither here nor there. So this week was a huge week for comics for me. More books than I've picked up in a while. So let's just go ahead and jump into it here. Let me see if my presentation is loaded. It is. All right. So kicking us off this week, I picked up Amazing Spider-Man 55, the A cover. This was just an interesting little filler book to get us from the previous arc of the Goblin Spider, Peter Parker becoming the Green Goblin, thanks to the Sin Eater's staff, to transition us to Zeb Wells' final arc in Amazing Spider-Man tier. Sorry to see Zeb Wells leave, but I can't say the same about John Romita Jr. I used to be a John Romita Jr. fan. I think him and his dad are two of the greatest Spider-Man artists, but if you watched my content long enough, you know that my opinion on John Romita Jr. is that he's just never been able to get out of this kick-ass style of art. The blocky heads, the blocky appendages, the weird looking leg muscles, as you can see on Spider-Man right there. But this is just a fun little issue of seeing Spider-Man go out on a date with someone who's not Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy or Betty or, Felicia or any of his normal rotation of love interests. He's just kind of going on a little date as Rhino is rampaging through the city, and he pretty much just says, can you not? So the woman he's dating is giving him an ultimatum about him leaving early or never showing up and whether he wants to be on that date. And it's just a nice little look into Peter Parker's personal life without Spider-Man being involved, or, the effects of being Spider-Man continue to have negative repercussions on relationships with people who aren't named Mary Jane. So it was a good read. Like I said, a nice little palette cleanser, if you will, from the Goblin stuff moving into the final story arc in this Zeb Wells, John Romita Jr. Ride we've been on. Up next, we had the Ultimates number 3. The Ultimates number 3, it was something interesting. It was some interesting world building. Both the characters and the settings are feeling so unique and dangerous and full of potential. This new Gamma Island feels so alien and unique. It feels like it could play a major role moving forward. And also, it's the introduction to She-Hulk in this new Ultimate universe that has been created thanks to the maker. Up next, we had Transformers. This Transformers book is an interesting story. I've really enjoyed the Image. Really enjoyed the Image Transformers stuff. Issue 11, if you haven't read it, I would definitely suggest picking it up. Let me know. Are you enjoying this Transformers run from Image? Do you think Image has sparked life back into the Energon universe and life back into Transformers with, Void Rivals and Transformers and now G.I. Joe and kind of everything that's spawning out of Skybound Image? Let me know. Are you enjoying Transformers, especially issue 11? Are you here for the ride? Have you bailed on it? Let me know in the comment section below. Next up, we have X-Men. Beautiful J. Scott Campbell variant cover. There's 2 variants of this. There's the trade dress and non-trade dress. I can't remember what the ratio is on the non-trade dress. I want to say it's a 1 in 100. If I'm being accurate. I could take a minute to look really quick. I believe it's a 1 in 100. But this is a beautiful Magique J. Scott Campbell cover. The story was kind of good. It's issue 2 of this new post-Krakoa age X-Men stories. You see the team of Cyclops, Cyclops. I'm trying to think of the team off the top of my head. It's Cyclops, Magique, Psylocke, and I want to say it's Kid Omega and Juggernaut. Yeah, the J. Scott Campbell is a 1 in 100, so it's a 1 in 100 virgin. But the trade dress here is open order, and this is the one I picked up. But your X-Men team has been made aware of a new mutant whose mutations just spawned, and he can make projections, and he projects as an alien invasion, and they go to try to fight the alien invasion and find out that it's the new mutant that is creating this. Interesting story. So far, I feel like one of the stronger titles coming out of this X-Men reboot. Not a really big fan of Uncanny, even though it's only had 1 or 2 issues now. I feel like this X-Men book and this team has been, like I said, one of the more stronger additions to this post-Krakoa age. Up next, we have Barfly. Barfly is an interesting book. This series and the whole Minor Threat has really found a solid balance between its adult comedy, the feel, and it's just genuinely good writing and storytelling. The characters feel more natural, and the humor is well paced. It didn't take away from the action or the world building. So if you're a fan of Minor Threats, Barfly is a good read. Patton Oswalt is writing this book. You know, inner nerd at heart. But it's a fun read. It's funny. There's a lot of references. You got to look at like every panel to see all the hidden little Easter eggs that are put into it. It's one of those books that it's fun to read and also fun to study for extra enjoyment. So if you're not checking it out, I would say pick up issue 1 and 2 of Patton Oswalt's Barfly. And I went here with this cover, this Evan Dorkin variant cover. That's the B cover. Up next, we have Miles Morales Spider-Man, the Dole variant. Sorry if I butcher that. This is spinning out of Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt is over, and this is kind of Miles learning to deal with his new powers post Blood Hunt and his bloodthirst, and just kind of everything going on in Miles' universe. I wasn't a big fan of Blood Hunt. I'm not a big fan of the whole vampire craze that it seems like we're rolling back into. Like we had Twilight, and then it went to zombies, and now it seems like we're back in vampires, at least in the comic book medium. But I was not a big fan of the Blood Hunt storyline. I thought it started good and then fell flat. I'm interested to see how this newfound power and circumstances for Miles carries him into the future of Marvel, and how long this whole vampirism thing sticks around. But until then, it was a fun read. It was nice to see a new Vulture story, and it's hopefully Miles can get back on track. Not that he ever wasn't, but it's just not the Blood Hunt stuff. I feel like kind of derailed everything. Up next, we have X Factor. This is a new X Factor team. This is a very promising first issue. I've heard several people compare this issue to John Ostrad's. No, that's not Ostrad's. It's John Ostrander's tenure on Suicide Squad. From the ashes of Krakoa, a new mutant army is basically the nations are gathering all their mutants to make armies. And they're in a race to build their own mutant armies, but only America's X Factor has the most powerful most patriotic and most marketable mutant heroes. So you kind of have your team there led by Angel. Again, it's a fun read. Another great addition to the X titles coming out of the Krakoa age. I would definitely say check out X Factor #1. I just picked up the Scotty Young variant because I wasn't a big fan of. I believe it's the Greg Land. I want to say it's Greg Land 5-finger A cover. It it is nice, but it kind of gives me that those, I don't know. I don't want to say AI. I don't want to make any accusations of it being AI. Um, yeah, it is Greg Land. I don't think it's AI, but you know, Angel's got 5 fingers on it. So what do you do? Angel and Havoc and Pyro and um yeah, just not feeling the 5-finger cover. So I went with the Scotty Young B cover because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with a good Scotty Young cover, right? Venom War Spider-Man #1. I went with the, believe it's the B cover on this one. The nice black suit Spider-Man with the chains. And Jackpot. I really enjoyed this issue. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on this issue. I enjoyed it because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and it was nice to see Venom, the Venom symbiote, and Peter Parker back together interacting in their conversation with each other, and just to see how their dynamic has changed after all these years with the addition of Jackpot. I'm still not sure what Marvel's trying to do with Jackpot and why they're trying to get this superpowered Mary Jane to catch on. It just doesn't feel like it is. And they're just kind of throwing her out there everywhere they can. But this was a fun issue to see just the dynamic and some say almost buddy cop or partnership that might be budding between Peter Parker and the Venom symbiote, and kind of just a nice tie-in to the Venom War. I think this was way better than the actual issue of Venom that came out this week. So I would say if you're a Spider-Man fan and you like the black suit stuff, make sure to check out Venom War Spider-Man. Definitely one of my highlights this week. Next up, we have Jonny Quest. Man, this book took me back to my younger years, as you know, when I was a kid, watching Jonny Quest and watching Jonny Quest movies and things like that. It felt like you were watching an episode of Jonny Quest while you were reading a comic book. It read and felt just like I remember the cartoon as a child. Now, is that maybe a little bit of nostalgia blind eye? Maybe. I could say it's probably been 25 years since I've watched Jonny Quest. So I don't know if it's just my memory playing tricks on me, or, you know, that old thing where you remember things better than they were. But as far as I remember my time with Jonny Quest, this holds up. If you were a Jonny Quest fan, I would definitely say check it out. If you're not a Jonny Quest fan, I would definitely say just pass on it. But yeah, it's definitely directed towards fans of the old school cartoon. And if you're a Ventures Brothers fan, like I am, I would say check it out too, because this is the source material that Venture Brothers came from, the parody of Jonny Quest. But yeah, I think it more tickles the funny bone of or tickles the nostalgia bone, I should say, because you don't want to be tickling bones, but tickles the nostalgia bone of old school Jonny Quest fans. Next up, we have Nightwatcher. The Eric Tolbot 40th anniversary variant is what I went with. Everyone is expecting Nightwatcher from the old TMNT book, but that's not the case. I like the story in this. I like how they're interviewing the people in the community, talking about Nightwatcher and what's going on in the city, and it's very reminiscent of Dark Knight Returns. And it was a nice touch seeing who Nightwatcher is, and them trying to balance the whole life and violence and discrimination against mutants that's running wild in the city right now. And it's interesting what they're doing when they ended Turtles, the IDW run of Turtles, and then they're doing this relaunch. And it's interesting to see, like, so they have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles main title, they have Nightwatcher, and I think they have Mutant Nation coming out as well. And it almost seems like they've split up the Turtles teams, and each book is covering a different turtle. The very first issue of TMNT was very much of Raphael in jail, and Raphael heavy and focused. This one, I think Mutant Nation from the cover looks like it's going to be very Donatello focused. Don't quote me on that because it hasn't come out yet. But do you want me to tell you who Nightwatcher was? Because I think it adds a nice little dynamic to it. Do you want me to tell you? Spoiler alert. Fast forward to this point now. And 3, 2, 1. Nightwatcher is Jennica. So it's interesting to have the newest turtle, the female turtle, Jennica, take up the mantle of Nightwatcher as Raphael's in jail. It added a nice little dynamic to Jenica's character and kind of see how she's dealing with her relationships and personal life, as well as trying to keep the city safe. So if you're a Turtles fan, definitely check out Nightwatcher. It was, again, another good read this week. Next up, we picked up Spider-Boy versus Spider-Verse. This one, because it's kind of a pass. I mean, it's cool to see Earth 67 and 982, and most importantly, you get to see the Spider-Man animated series universe again, and people finally are remembering who Bailey is. But it just really isn't it wasn't doing it for me this week. It's a nice little addition to everything else Spider-Verse that's going on, but I could take or leave it. People are saying, oh, this is some of Dan Slott's best writing. I don't know if I'd go that far, but if you're really into like the animated series and those animated universes and stuff, it was a fun read. But nothing I would say you definitely need to run out and pick up. And that leaves me with, did I forget a book? I think I forgot a book. I did forget to add a book. I also picked up I forgot a book. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I forgot a book. I also picked up this. I can't believe I forgot this book. Well, anyways, my shop had a copy of Wolverine, number 2. I have number 1 graded. I didn't have number 2, so I decided to pick that up. So I'm just showing that off as well. But I also picked up this week, and I apologize. I can't believe I forgot to add it into this presentation. This beautiful Spider Society, Enter the Spider-Verse, Art Germ, Ghost Spider, aka Spider-Gwen cover. It's a variant cover, but I love the way Spider-Gwen looks. I love the buildings, the cityscape behind her. I love how she's outlined in like the dotted art, very old school comic booky, very into the Spider-Verse, across the Spider-Verse-esque. The story though was kind of meh. You get to see a spider bowl of ramen and some new spider characters, but otherwise in the new like Sinister Six, it's the multiverse version of the Sinister Six where they all come together, the bad guys from different universes, to attack the spiders. It wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't anything outstanding. Like I said, it was very much kind of meh. I'm almost to the point where, as much as I love Spider-Man and I love Ghost Spider or Spider-Gwen and Miles, I'm very much burnt out on the Spider-Verse aspect of things as far as the comic books go. Like, I love the movies and I want to see more of those, but as far as like the print stuff, I just feel like the Spider-Verse stuff is starting to become a cash grab to see how many more spider characters can we create to potentially put in these movies to send people into a tizzy to go out there and buy these books. I would have to give that book, The Spider Society, a big old fat pass. Unless you like those characters and you want to collect them, go ahead, but I would not be by any means going out of your way to get that book, unless you just like the cover. If you like the cover, that's great. Hook that up. But I would have to say that by far, I think my top picks for books that I picked up this week would have to be Nightwatcher, Barfly, and probably X-Men. I think those are my highlight reads for the week. I did enjoy the Spider-Man, but like I said, Spider-Man 55, but like I said, it's very much filler, setting you up for the next story arc. That in the final story arc under the 10-year of Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. But that's it for this week, for this episode. Let me know what you guys picked up this week in the comment section below. Let me know if you want me to do more of these episodes, letting you know what I pick up each and every week. I thought about doing episodes about what I'm looking forward to, maybe on Sunday or Monday, of books that are coming out this week. But that's what I picked up. And just so nobody can say that those aren't what I picked up, here's Spider-Man, Ultimates, Barfly, Nightwatcher, the Spider Society. I picked up 2 covers of those. The X-Men, J. Scott Campbell, Miles Morales, Transformers, X Factor, Spider-Boy, and Venom War Spider-Man. So those are my pickups for this week. Let me know what you picked up this week in the comment section below. Let me know what you're reading. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like our content, and hit that notification so you never miss an upload or when we go live. And as always, for this episode of Nerdacy, I'm Matt. Stay heroic, and we'll see you guys next time.